Hello beautiful people, Lingy here. Today's video is going to be a questionnaire. I did a Ask Lingy questionnaire on all my social sites, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I put together some questions that I thought would be helpful for others, and let's get right into it. So you know how I do when I talk to this camera. We're gonna have bloopers for days. So we're gonna get right into it because I don't want this video to be too long. If y'all know me, y'all know I can't see, so let me put on my glasses. All right, so the first question is, where do you live? I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from Philadelphia. Came out here for school and kind of stayed out here. The second question is, what's your nationality? I'm half black, half Puerto Rican. My mom's Puerto Rican, my father's black. I hang around a lot of African friends, so that's where the African influence comes from. The third question is, what size are you? What kind of shape do you have? Pear or hourglass? And what are your clothing staples? Dress size, I'm about an 8 right now. I'm between a 6 and an 8 depending on, you know, where my weight is. The second part of the question is, do I think I have a pear or hourglass shape? I'd say hourglass because I'm bigger up here. I'm not smaller than what I am up here to down here, if that makes any sense. Yeah, and the last thing is, what are your clothing staples? Do I have clothing staples? I love tights. I love sweatpants. Those are definitely big clothing staples of mine. High waist everything. And shorts in the summer. I love shorts. The next question is, are you a plus size model or fashion blogger? You're beautiful, by the way. Thank you, darling. I used to dabble in front of the camera, not necessarily anymore.
Have a good time. What's that push open? Yeah, I said it. What's that open? You know you like it when I talk that.
As far as me being a blogger, I just like to do inspirational posts. I like to put things together in my own way and put it on my Instagram, and hopefully you guys like it. Or I like to put things together just for inspiration. I wouldn't necessarily call me a blogger, but I do blog, I do vlog, and I do Instagram posts, and I do YouTube. So I don't know. But thank you. The next question is, how did you get started making clothes? Do you have any sewing machines you'd recommend for those who are interested in learning how to sew? I started sewing when I was 14 years old. Usually people obtained a craft from a grandmother or a mother. I didn't. I just kind of was interested in it. I asked my mom for a sewing machine, and she got me this sewing machine that I actually still sew on to this day. I currently sew on 2 sewing machines depending on what I need to sew. I have the first brother that I ever used when I was younger. I got it when I was 14 years old, and it's this brother here. And I also have an older machine. I call her grandma because she's old. She's about like 50 years old. She sits in this cabin. A neighbor of my aunt's, they gave it away, and she saved it for me, and I use that one depending on what fabrics I'm using. For my finishings, I use a serger, a regular serger by Singer, and that's all I use for sewing here and now. As far as recommended sewing machines, I recommend a Brother or a Singer. It doesn't necessarily have to be too fancy as long as it sews, pretty much. And yeah, I think that's it for that question. The next question is, what exercise do you do for your butt and legs? I don't really do too many exercises that focus on butt or legs. I was a trained dancer. I did ballet, tap, jazz, point. I was a cheerleader for forever, and I dance professionally.
You know you're looking good. I think about you almost every
like choreography.
I really wanna take you home. So you can meet my mama.
For a minute, so I think that helps with my leg toning. Also, my mom is pretty much built like me, so as far as having big legs, I don't necessarily think I have a big butt. I just have wide hips, and I think that comes from my mother. But when I do work out, I run a lot, and I think that kind of like lifts up the booty area and tones my legs. So when I'm working out, I run. The next question is, will you ever sell the clothes that you make? For right now, I do custom stuff. So if somebody were to, hire me to do a dress, that's the way that I sell my clothes. For right now, I don't have the manpower to produce many because my schedule is kind of like a little bit all over the place, but I do plan on it, so we can hope for that. The next question is your height and weight. Right now I am between 145 and 155, around there. I don't get fixed on my weight because I am so solid. I don't like jump over a bridge because of the numbers, because you could be heavy in mass but not in size. So, but to answer your question, is between 145 and 155. It fluctuates right in the middle between that area. Oh, and my height is 5'2.5". You can round it up or you can round it down. The next question is, what hair products can you recommend for transitioning naturalistas? I'd recommend some type of cream. For right now, for the cream that I use the Shea Moisture Yucca and Plantain. We say plátano, but I think in English it's plantain. For oil, I use coconut or extra virgin olive oil. For leave-in conditioner, it's between Giovanni's Direct Leave-In or right now I just picked up the Shea Moistures. I'll show them to you in this clip. I do recommend using flexi rods just so the transitioning between the two hairs aren't too different. So at least if you have a twist, you can put a flexi rod on the end to keep the coil going. Do you make, sell, or have tutorials for patterns or pattern making? Not yet, but I am going to do a sewing series. I've been talking about this for forever. I'm about to leave and go out of town, but I'll be back, and I plan on coming right back to work. The next step for me is to do my sewing series. In the sewing series, I'll basically speak basics on sewing, on fabrics. I won't go too far into, but just the things that you need to know when you initially start sewing. And I also plan on teaching you how to read patterns and how to manipulate them. So stick around for that. That's the only thing that I have. Yeah. So definitely stick around for that. The next question is, where did you get your inspiration or your style? It's gorgeous. Thank you so much. I was always colorful. That's one thing that I always was when I was younger. I don't know if that comes from my Hispanic side, and they always say Hispanics are very colorful. Maybe I get it from that. Not sure. But I always like things that just made me feel nice or sexy. I don't really have like a look. Sometimes because my body frame is, a little curvy, I can gear towards sexy majority of the time, or a lot, but I just like anything that makes me feel good. Anything that makes me feel like yes when I walk out that door. But anything specific, I get inspiration from a little bit of everything. I hope that answered your question. What camera do you use, lights, and software? This is a question that I get a lot. The camera that I use, like the one that I'm shooting with right now, is the Nikon D3200. I have 5 sources of light, literally, that's here with me in my room. I have a ring light here. I have a strip light that I pretty much put together my damn self. And I have 2 box lights that illuminate my background, and this is a piece of gift wrapping paper. That's it. Gotta get it how you live, all right? For software and editing, I use iMovie. I think it's iMovie 10, and I also use Keynote for my transitions. I plan on doing a tutorial on that as well. And the last question I have, this one's from Toy. Toy, I love you, girl. You've been asking me this for forever. Somebody else also asked me something of the sort, so I felt like this would be helpful for everybody. Okay, so the question is, I want to start my own blog vlog. How do you get started, and how do you get graphics that are so fancy? I have a number of things for that. You want to start a blog vlog? The first thing that I can say is do it. Don't second guess it. Don't overanalyze it. Just do it. We could get caught up in our own heads. We could get caught up in what everybody else has. We could get caught up in what we don't have instead of using what we have to at least produce. Let me just say that right then and there. How did you get started? I first started initially with, I had a little camera. It was a Canon. It was like a power shoot camera. I had that. I didn't have any lights. If you don't have any lights, use natural lighting. I started using natural lighting right next to a window during the daytime. I know some YouTubers only shoot from 10 to 2, just when the light is at its highest, and you get like a beautiful just glow and you don't need any artificial lighting. As far as graphics, there's a program called GIMP. It's like a free version of Photoshop. You can edit like thumbnails. You can do anything that you can do on Photoshop on GIMP. It's just a freer version. You download it, and I think they have it for Mac and PC. I taught myself. I basically went on YouTube. If I had a question, I went on YouTube, figured it out, taught myself Photoshop and GIMP. So you can use that. And also, what's another thing? You can do your thumbnails on there. They also have different applications online where you can basically edit your thumbnails. I tried vlogging. I have to basically kick myself in the booty to keep doing it. It's tedious. When it comes to vlogging or blogging, consistency is just important for anything. Whatever that you're trying to do, be consistent with it. And I think those are the main things that helped me, you know, start this. Because at first I was second guessing myself. I didn't want to do it. I was looking like, oh my God, I don't know how people are going to view me. But I was just kind of like, get over it and get it done. You can use what you have, and then eventually it'll grow into what you want it to become. I didn't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't need these anymore, although I do need them. So I hope that answers all the questions. If you guys have any other questions, definitely feel free to ask them below. I think that's it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Definitely follow me on Instagram, Blogspot, Twitter, and Snapchat. It's all Lingywashere, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And then I have 2 box lights here to illuminate my background, which is a piece of wallpaper. Nope. And I also plan on teaching you guys how to do in the comments below. No! My sister's calling me in the middle of me shooting, and I was using it for my audio. I'll call her back. Bye. And I have 2 box lights that here we go. And I have 2 box lights that which is a piece of gift wrapping paper that took forever for me to say. It's hot.